Shalom, Salamu Alaikum, Shalom, Islam, peace, greetings to everybody, man, especially my melanated brothers and sisters. You know, us as a people, man, we are trying to figure things out, you know, you know. Us as a people, we have been whipped on, beat up, falsely accused of things. Our history flipped upside down. We have been lied to, lied on, you know, to a degree where a lot of you youngins, man, y'all might not understand. You know, I have a business by the name of Indigenous Apparel, and my company is basically all about bringing awareness of our true identity and our true history, because we've been lied to for so long, man. You know, and I was explaining my business to one of my comrades. I was talking to him about it, and he was like, P, man, I get it. I respect where you're going. He said, but the kids don't really want to hear that shit. And then after I stood there and thought about it for a minute, I was like, you know what, bro, you right. The kids really don't give a shit. All they want to know is who the latest rapper is. You know, all they want to know is where they can buy Gucci from. You know, it trips me out how we have these conscious, supposedly, these conscious creators of our melanated history, but you look at the image of them on their pictures and they got Gucci hats on. Like, bro, you're supposed to be conscious, but you're wearing Gucci hats and Louis Vuitton shit, and you think that this shit is cool. Before you start running your mouth about being woke and being conscious, how about the first thing you want to do is stop wearing all of their goofy ass clothes, because their clothes don't mean shit to us. All they do is get rich off of our bloodshed. Because there's a lot of brothers out here that will bust somebody's head open for a Gucci belt or a Louis Vuitton pocketbook, or they will sell dope to the community and enslave the entire neighborhood for Gucci shoes. So before you talk about being conscious and all this shit, first of all, bro, stop wearing all that shit talking about you conscious. Alright? So much shade, man. I'm embarrassed, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna say 75% of the conscious community, they keep so much shade going within the circle that I don't even want to be a part of this shit, because the fighting and the division is what keeps us spiraling down. We're trying, us of the real conscious community, we're working on our cosmic memory, our cosmic source. Okay? Making sure your chakras are in line so your pineal gland can activate. So you're not going to do that if you're harboring all of this shade for each other. It's bullshit. So you might want to start there. So let's go. Now, I was reading this book. I do a lot of reading. So this is what I do. I read a lot. You know, like I said, I used to watch videos, but then the videos it started to feel like it was, I didn't feel comfortable with all the information that everybody was giving. So I decided to break away from watching videos and use my own knowledge, my own wisdom, my own findings, and just my using my experience of being involved in these different ways of living, which that's all religion is. Religion is a way of living through their whoever's narrating. And it's usually some kind of division that's causing static. Right about now, I don't give a shit about who, what. I don't even care about that, because us as cosmic, high vibrational, high frequency, spiritual people, melanated, we were all over the world. It wasn't just one place where we were. We were and are all over the world, man. So I used to get into the origin. I know the origin now, but it doesn't really matter anymore, because this thing is so bigger than one place. Because like I said in my previous video, before the shifting of these tectonic plates, this used to be one landmass, which I believe is still one landmass to the day. It's just my perspective. Like I said, it's my perspective. Everybody has their own perspective. But for my uh, 4 decades of conscious cosmic living, I've gathered certain wisdom about certain things. So I feel like a lot of this comes with time. It comes with time. It comes with time, wisdom. So I'm a firm believer that a 19-year-old couldn't possibly know the things that a 99-year-old knows. Now, some young people have old souls, but they still don't have the wisdom of time. time, T-I-M-E, time. So you put all these things together and you come up with your own perspective with reading all different types of esoteric and exoteric books. Read anything and everything. Don't be afraid, because 9 times out of 10, the book that you're reading comes from our past. I do this for our youth. I do this so that the next generation won't be in the twilight zone like we were, like we are. So, I'm reading this book called The Stolen Identity of the So-Called American Negroes. It says, The Negro History Bulletin. So, let's start here. It says, breathe breaths there, the man with soul so dead, who never to himself has said, this is my own, my native land, whose heart hath nearer within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned, for wandering on a foreign land. Question mark. See where they put this question mark? So that made me think, for wandering on a foreign land. So is it a foreign land? Exactly. So it says, if such there breathes, go mark him well, or breaths, or breeze, go mark him well. For him no minstrel raptures swell, high though his titles, power, and health. The wretch, concerted all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubtly dying shall go down to the vile dust from hence he sprung, unwept, unhonoring, and unsung. Now thyself, which is clearly implied in the above poem by Sir Walter Scott, is essential to life itself. Know thyself. 2 words with which the so-called American Negro must acquaint himself in order to find the real meaning for his very existence. Why is this necessary? Why is this necessary? Man, it's so necessary, because if you don't know your origin, how do you know how to live? How would you know how to pray? How would you know how to eat? How would you know how to worship? How would you know how to take care of yourself health-wise, uh, spiritually, uh, mentally, physically? If you don't know your origin, who you are, how would you know how to do these things. So that's why it's very important. So it says, for this very reason, he must regain his national identity and identity stolen from him for some 300 years. It says, or 400 years. The importance of an identity to people is unlimited in its aspects. We find that we, as a Negro race, know less about ourselves than we are taught of other races. That's bad. We know about everybody else, but we don't know about us. Truthfully, that's because it's been hidden, you know, and division. If you create this narrative where everybody's, well, I'm this person, well, I'm this person, well, I'm that person, all that does is cause beef. So I'm a firm believer in uh, some of these religions. I believe were created to cause division so that we can fight. If we fight and we divide, we can never grow. Because in order to grow, you have to tribe up. You gotta, and then everybody has their specialty. All right, we tribe up. Okay, y'all gonna handle the agriculture, and this group over here, you guys are gonna handle the money. Okay, and then you guys over here are gonna handle uh our spiritual aspect, because you can make $1,000,000, but if you don't know how to keep it and you're not tuned in spiritually, you're not going to keep it. You know how many people have made $100 and was broke in a year? So what happens? It's happened to me. It's happened to me 3 or 4 times. Where I done had 60, 70,000, and because it was ill-gotten gains, it was ill-gotten gains, hustling in the streets and shit, right? That's another thing too. When the money is ill-gotten, you're not going to keep it. Something's going to happen where you're going to lose it. And then secondly, if you're not tapped in the correct way spiritually, you're not going to know what to do with it once you get it. So if all of these, if this one group of high spiritual cosmic beings was to all be on the same accord, telepathically, right? Do you know what we could do then? Everybody has their own assigned jobs, and because we are all tapped in spiritually through the cosmic realms, then we already know. There ain't no fighting going on. We warn against our oppressor, and it's usually the Caucasoid. So, let me finish. This in itself is detrimental to us. Let me read this again. So it says, The importance of an identity to a people is unlimited in its aspects. We find that we, as a Negro race, know less about ourselves than we are taught of other races. This in itself is detrimental to us. Detrimental to us. One can have no pride of self unless one knows his heritage. That's why it's so important to know your heritage. A lot of times when I'm out, like outside of my house, this is what I talk about all day long, especially to uh, 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 our melanated, indigenous, aboriginal youth. This is what I talk to them about. Me being, and I wouldn't, I'm not the patriarch of my family. My dad is, but I am one of the elders. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to be putting no dope in their hands. I'm not supposed to be putting no guns in their hands. I'm not supposed to be bringing them over into my set and all, and got them running around wanting to kill everything and sell dope and crack and all this dumbass shit. No, I'm supposed to be helping them regain their footing, helping them understand who they are. Because once you understand who you are, your whole train of thought will change. And you know that you come from a great people. This is the deception that these religions cause, right? If you don't know that you come from a great people, then you won't strive to be great. See, once you know you're great, then you do great things. You act great. Once you know you are great, you become great with no cut. Alright, so let me calm down. So it says, one must become educated in his heritage in its true sense. Look at it, be critical of it, tear it apart, and be able to record it intelligently. You hear me? So you got to be able to talk it intelligently. Tell who you are, what you are. Gods and goddesses, that's what you are. And see, this is where another part of where the deception comes from. See, we have something that the Caucasian does not have. You can't be this god and this goddess because there are certain things that you have to have. The main ingredients is melanin. If you don't have melanin, you're dead. So stop it. We are the gods and goddesses. Okay? So it says, know thyself well, then study other people. Learn your part. Do not be robbed of your heritage. Then and only then will you be recognized as finding your rightful place in the world. Talking to my youngins now. Hope y'all listening to me. Put down the video joystick. put your phone down and open up your ears, open up your heart, take in this information. This is what you need to hear. Please subscribe, please share. This is not a money platform. I mean, if you want to help so I can continue my work, I appreciate it, but I've never earned $1 off of this YouTube channel. I do this for the generations to come. You don't understand how much this means to me. You don't understand, man. I can't even use words of how important this is to me. I need to know that my grandchildren, that my great-grandchildren, that my great-great-great-great-grandchildren, I need to understand, I need to know that they have a certain perspective off the rip at 9, 10, 11 years old. This is why I do this. So please subscribe and share this video. So now it says how how were we the Negro people? Now, I don't like using that word. I say melanated. I say indigenous. I say aboriginal. I don't get into Negro, nigga. You know, when I'm talking to my boys, you know, because I still have ebonics. I still got a lot of street ebonics in me. So sometimes I have to check myself. But when I'm talking to people close to me, you know, we rap. But I try not to use words like Negro, nigga, you know what I mean? Words like this. Black, African American. No. It's melanated. It's indigenous. It's aboriginal. Because we are the originals. So, it says, let me finish again. It says, how were we, the Negro people, robbed of our identity? How? How were we robbed of our identity? So, this guy says, I shall now, wait a minute. So it says, I shall now proceed to tell the deep, dark, and almost unknown story. I will use many quotations because to tell the story in my own words completely would bring forth many questions from the reader, which can be answered best by these quotes. Many years have passed since our culture was the dominant force in the world. Did you hear that? It says, many years have passed since our culture was the dominant force in the world. Since that time, people have tried to mislead us in regards to our heritage. People have literally been working to mislead us. So that's why I don't want to bash anybody. I mean, you know, in our community. But be careful with the religion stuff, man. Because religion, people take religion out of context. Religion is pretty much a way of living so that you can live a prosperous life. And also, don't forget that when you transition to the next realm, you can go to the right place, or you can go in the right state of mind. You want to go somewhere heavenly so that your spirit can travel to the next uh, bloodline. So it says, knowing that if we were aware of our past, our struggle into the future would lack necessary inspiration. With the middle passage, what is the journey our forefathers took against their will from marvelous Africa to the New World or the Old World? Because when you say things like Africa, El Cabo Land, uh, India Superior, or the Indias period, this landmass was so big that sometimes America was called Africa, Abyssinia, India Superior, So we're not going to get caught up with the names. I'm not. I'm dodging the hijack. So just try to follow me. So this is actually the old world, not the new world. So it says, much of our culture was lost either by accident or design. Trust me, our culture was lost by design because they don't want you to know that you are the kings and queens, the gods and goddesses, that all of these books, all of these movies, all of these writings are about us. They don't want you to know that when they're talking about these gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt, they're talking about these melanated people, these so-called Negroes. Okay? You can't be a high frequency, cosmic, divine power without having melanin. So they don't want you to know that. So that's why they create all of these uh, distractive narratives in the movies and in the books. So trust me, your culture was lost by design. Ain't no damn accident. That's bullshit. So, of course, there have been numerous, here we go. So it says, of course, there have been numerous books written on our race by so-called interested people, but that these books disseminate anything other than propaganda against our race. Yes, this led to the black man, the melanated man, because we don't say black. You have to belong to a nation. There is no black nation. So we have to understand what nations are. And black is not one of them. So this led the black man to turn to study of other people's cultures, finding nothing elevating in his own, or rather not being permitted to find anything elevating in his own. Huh. So they only want you looking and find it, but there's stuff out here, man. You just gotta learn how to take the meat out and get the meat out of the information and spit the bones out. All right. So it says, wait a minute. I read this already. Oh, okay. Much of our culture was lost either by accident or design. Let us look at this statement a little closer. It could hardly be by accident that a race could lose its identity or culture, which is the basis of their being. So with closer scrutiny, we see design as the key word. Yeah, pretty much. I just said that. So, wait a minute. So, it says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. What other people could fit this prophecy so perfectly? Right? The so-called American Negro in a strange land and sinking into slavery and servitude, while slavery and servitude for other groups gradually disappeared. Yeah. The reason here too is beyond the scope of the paper. Is beyond the scope of the paper. So it might not be written down. Like I said, man, I'm gonna tell you. Ah, my perspective is I feel like Ancestry.com, places like this, bro, let me tell you, there has been so many generations and so many illegitimate babies, stepdad, stepmom. It's been so much. It could be somewhat impossible to trace this back, to trace your lineage back. So I'm a firm believer that whatever you feel in your heart, that's what you are. If you are a freedom fighter, a rebel, someone that will not make any treaties, then you know that you Chickamauga. And the hijack is going to try to, especially when they know that you are a revolutionist, you're a revolutionary, that they know this, but you're not too sure if you are not, they're going to try to make it seem like you're not, because they scared of people like us. So don't always believe what somebody tell you about who you are. You find out who you are. So one of the things that we've learned about history is if it's going on today, then pretty much that's what it was in the past. That's what it was in the past. So a lot of this has to do with quantum physics, which is the study of energy, frequency, and vibration. You will be able to channel in to who you are once you understand quantum physics, which is what? The study of energy, frequency, and vibration. What you put your energy into, what you study, what you fight for. If you are Uncle Tom, then you'll be this guy that's on a job bootlicking your white supervisor. So now we know who the ones were that worked with the invaders. If you a fighter and you will slap all the shit out of any white boy to get out of line, then you know you Chickamauga. So that's where I'm going with that. So let me finish reading because I started going somewhere. But it says I'm gonna start here. The so-called American Negro in a strange land and sinking into slavery and servitude, while slavery and servitude for other groups gradually disappeared. The reason here too is beyond the scope of this paper, right? Says the author of this quotation, what kind of feeling does he leave with you? I'm sorry, what kind of feeling does he leave you with? I'm sorry. Is it of acknowledging the design? Oh, mm. So do you acknowledge the design? I do. Our being taught of our identity started early. We are taught that, yeah, right. Captain John Smith. I read about this guy. That's why I'm saying Captain, but they called him Captain. Captain John Smith in 1619 brought us out of darkness, Africa, to work in North America. Dodge the hijack. Dodge the hijack. And that we came willingly to reap the fortune of a new found land. Dodge the hijack. Or at least we believe these cunning words. When we arrived here, our hopes fell. See, this is all conjecture, man. This is all. See, how how would we know if this kind of stuff wasn't written just to throw us off? I believe a lot of this stuff was written so that when we go to read it, we wouldn't think that we were in our own land. Hear me? It's already been proven that these melanated people were all over the world, Doug. And these census records about the Caucasian being being the majority, that's bullshit. There's no way the Caucasian could be a majority. There's no way. Anything you mix with this melanin is going to turn into melanin. The reason why they flipping out the way they flipping out is because they're afraid that they're going to die out. They're afraid that in a couple generations there won't be no Caucasians. That's their real beef. they're afraid that they're dying out. So they're trying to create all type of situations where they're trying to cause us to die off. So you got these rappers out here, man. All they want to do is shoot and kill each other about nothing. Doug, you stepped on my shoe. Or Doug, or my car look better than yours. Or they beefing about nothing. They not fighting over no land. They not fighting over ain't nobody rape nobody's mother. Ain't nobody, it ain't really nothing serious. It brag, everybody, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Bro, you not shit, you not shit, you not shit. How about that? And the OG said it. And if you got a problem with it, make the comment and make the comments. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to you about it. As far as I'm concerned, man, you niggas is clowns for real. All y'all want to do is be slick, look slick. That ain't doing a fucking thing for you, bro. Nothing. I come up in the rap era where rap was really rap. You had conscious rappers out there. You had rappers like KRS-One, BDP, Rakim, X-Clan, A Tribe Called Quest, man, Common. Man, we was talking about uplifting the melanated man. And, learning your history, being smart, protection, defense, buy guns, because you never know when a civil war break out. Y'all think it's sweet out here, man. Whole time, we worrying about Gucci and the Caucasian training their 5-year-olds on how to hunt and grow vegetables on their land. All we worrying about is posting up on the corner looking slick with all of your Louis Vuitton shit on. Bro, we gotta get smarter, man. To the youth, to the kids, to my frontline soldiers, man. Please, y'all, wake up, man. If a civil war broke out right now, 90% of us ain't ready for it. You don't even own a pair of boots. Because if the shit hit the fan, you can't make it in the woods with a pair of Gucci loafers on. Understand? It's actually a race. A race of the races to see who can last the longest. And it's a war out. It's a war going on against you, so-called black man. Yeah, they want you gone, buddy. And guess what you doing? Helping. The KKK don't gotta do shit now. All they gotta do is just sit back and let all you fucking nuts do it all. If we knew our history, knew our heritage, knew who we were, we wouldn't do the silly shit that we do to each other. We have to worry about too many other things killing us. Cancers, the viruses, the drugs, the guns, the jealousy, the hate. We got so many other things that they've put together so that we can't grow. Just like what was her name? Uh, 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 Eugenics, the eugenics program. So what is the eugenics? Let's see if we can find it real quick. This is for the kids, man. I know a lot of y'all don't know, man. Y'all too busy worrying about a whole bunch of dumbass shit. video games and shit. And the whole time, motherfuckers ready to go to war with y'all. Yo, y'all ain't even ready. Y'all don't even know. A lot of the OGs ain't even talking about it. They so scared. My thing is this, man. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for any fucking thing, dog. And I ain't falling for anything. So this eugenics things, right? It's something that they put together, right? Eugenics, right? Oh, let me see if I can find like something substantial so you can see it. All right, let's look at the Wikipedia joint. Let's see what they say. All right, so it says eugenics. Let me blow this up a little bit. All right, so eugenics. So it says eugenics from ancient Greek, right? What? Are they trying to sugarcoat the shit? So it says, is a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of the human population, historically by excluding people and groups judged to be inferior or promoting those judged to be superior. In recent years, the term has been a revival of bioethical discussions in the usage of new technologies such as CRISPR and eugenic screening. Alright, with a heated debate on whether these technologies should be called eugenics or not. Let's see, I want to go to, let me see something. Alright, so let's go ahead. The concept predates the term Plato suggested applying the principles of selective breeding to humans around 400 BC. And you see that? We're at 400 again. Early advocates of eugenics in the 1900s regarding it as a way of improving groups of people. In contemporary usage, the term eugenics is closely associated with scientific racism. So that's pretty much what it was, man. Uh, Margaret Sanger, I think it's Margaret Sanger, and some other scientists. They put together this situation called eugenics, right? They trying to sugarcoat the shit, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. Eugenics was a way for us to stop growing. We were growing too fast. These melanated people were growing too fast. So they came up with this program called the eugenics program in the early 1900s. Let's see if we can find something else. Let's see if we can find something. So this is the eugenics program. This eugenics thing was about stopping us from multiplying, period. They didn't want these melanated people to keep growing. See, when they say, okay, let's read a little bit of this. So it says eugenics is the practice or advocacy of improving the human species by selectively mating people with specific desirable heredity traits. It aims to reduce human suffering by breeding out disease, disability, and so-called undesirable characteristics from the human population. You're talking about melanated people, man, black people, man. Early supporters of eugenics believe people inherited mental illness. That's some bullshit. Well, whenever they talk mental illness, disease, they're saying in so many words, Negroes. So understand that, man. They try to sugarcoat so much shit, but because I'm an OG and I've been doing this for a while, man, I know what's going on. You can't bullshit me, yo. I already know what's going on. I just hope the youth listen, and I hope they care enough to listen. So, where we at? North America, and that we came willingly to reap the fortune of the new found land, which is an old land, it's ancient land, America, the Olmec. Come on, man, the Aztec, the Inca. Come on, man, that's all ancient, man. America had melanated people here way before the invasion. So understand that. So, or at least we believe these cunning words. When we arrived here, our hopes fell. To make us feel inferior, statements like this were stated. They tell you that you owe the world everything and that the world owes you nothing against the country's debt to the Negro for services of labor, who set the Negroes presumably in calculating indebtedness for the benefits of the white man's civilization. Alright. The real truth, however, is that John Hawkins in 1555 went into Cable Land, and in the rich and fertile valley of the Nile, the Mississippi River, intoxicated, tricked, and captured our people, bringing them to be sold in America. So pretty much taking you from one part of America, taking you to another part of America, getting you from somewhere like from the East Coast and taking you to the Caribbean. So these so-called indentured servants were already here, man. You may say now, how was the ancestry lost if slaves were able to tell the true story from one generation to another? This is an intensely deep question because information on such is scarce. See, they don't even got the information out here for us, man. They didn't flip-flop the books and all kind of craziness. So it says, most of the slaves after reproducing were killed, and their story of their true heritage died with them. However, some of the slaves that were not murdered, we still here we go, I'm one, were not murdered, were here to tell their heritage. This is the white man, this to the white man was detrimental. Laws then set up, they were especially forbidden to hold meetings or to teach one another to read or write. So, did y'all hear that? So, things like, okay, they didn't want us to communicate. See, if we communicate, then we can figure this kind of stuff out. We can build what we call building. And building is what? Building is sharing substantial information. They don't want us to talk and communicate and you know, help one another with our mind, with building our minds. So what they do, give us COVID-19 masks. So now everybody got a mask on. So these masks remind me of this. Check this out. Check this out. So you see this mask? You see this mask? Let me see if I can blow this up some more. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So you see this mask? You see this? You see this mask? This old slave mask? Mask. See these masks? Here they go again. Another mask, mask, mask. Right? Here go the mask again. These masks are really to shut you up so you can't communicate. So you can't what? Build. See this? Look just like the mask that we wearing now. Look. Look just like the mask that we wearing now. Look at this shit. Look. In other words, shut the hell up. Because if we communicate, first of all, if you don't communicate with each other, going outside, because I've noticed lately, like when I go out now, everybody's scared. Nobody wants to communicate. Nobody wants to say hello. Nobody wants to say peace. Nobody wants to say, have a nice day. Nobody wants to communicate. Isolation. The human body, the human mind has to communicate. You gotta get your words out. Then you gotta take in information. This is what humans do. If you don't do this, that alone can take you somewhere mentally you don't need to be. You gotta talk. You gotta communicate. This is how we fight the invader. This is what we have to do. So many of us are, I was outside, man, look, I almost had this whole big deal where I was about to fight this family, this redneck family came outside the house and accused my little brother of saying something to their teenage daughter. But the whole time, my little brother wasn't paying the little kid no mind. Actually, the little kid got mad because my little brother wasn't trying to talk to her. So she caught an attitude and started getting all slick mouth with my little brother. My little brother, grown ass man. So it's like a 15, 16-year-old kid with a chest, she attitude, thinks she all that. She got a mother, she a mixed breed, so she thinks she all that, right? Well, cause I was talking to my mom on the phone while my little brother was maybe 10 yards ahead of me. So I noticed this something going on because I can read. I've been to prison, so I know how to read movement. I can read body language. I know when the shit grade hit the fan by just body language. So I knew something was wrong, right? So I'm like, what's going on? So before I could even try to figure out what was going on, the little girl started talking like she was 30 years old. Shit, fuck you. I go in the house and go get my stepfather and all this. And then her mother started with the verbals, and I'm like, see, I'm trying to talk to them with reason because I've been there and done that already. I refuse to go back to jail because somebody else done jumped out there. Every time I get in trouble, get locked up, whatever, it's always because somebody else done jumped out there. And I'm either defending myself or I'm answering their bullshit. So, but now because we in 2022, we growing, we moving, we starting businesses, we're getting spiritually connected to our cosmic memory, we moving forward. So I'm trying to tell my little brother, no, we not going there. But he, in his 20s, all he want to do is put his hands on somebody. And I'm thinking bigger than that. So while the teenager and the mother is going in on me and my little brother, the grandparents come out the house. Did you say something to my fucking daughter? And that I'm looking at them going, do y'all Y'all really don't understand what y'all dealing with right now. Never underestimate people, man. All that rah-rah shit, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. I'm the type of person where I deal with shit then and there. I'm not gonna be doing a whole bunch of raising my blood pressure. Nah, nah. I can easily have that shit handled so fast it'll make your head spin. But like I told my little brother, I said, you never know what people are going through psychologically in their homes. You never know what's going. They probably fuss and fight in that house all day long. In my house, we don't do that. I mean, my stepsons, they teenagers, they beef a little bit, because that's gonna happen. Brothers, they beef sometimes. But for the most part, I keep it peaceful in my home. But every household is not like that. Every household don't have uh high frequency, higher spiritual learnings, teachings, you know, taking in esoteric knowledge. They're not doing these things, man. They're falling apart behind the mask, the not communicating, the isolation. They falling apart. So, to make a long story short, I wound up dragging my little brother away from the situation. We was about to mount up and go back around the corner again and just drag everybody out the house. But me, I'm the chief. So no, they move. My soldiers, they move. If I think you gotta learn when to hold them and when to fold them. If it ain't really about nothing like serious, should we stop our our ascend? Should we stop our growth because somebody else is having a bad day? No. See, that's where I come in, because I've learned enough. I've been through enough in my life to understand some things is not worth you going there. If it's worth it, you go there. But if it really ain't worth it, sometimes you gotta just let shit go, because we got bigger plans. We working on bigger and better things. I'm not trying to be that person that's sitting in the bullpen going, damn, here we go again. I'm waiting for the commissioner to come. They're gonna give me a bail. Are they not gonna give me a bail? Man, no, no. I don't want no sweaty meat sandwiches. I don't want no hookups. I ain't sitting on no hard steel toilets. None of that shit. Listening to these goofy ass fucking COs talk shit. None of that. We moving forward. So I wound up dragging my little brother home, and I could have mounted up and took 15 dudes around the corner and handled all that shit. No, it wasn't worth it. Whatever they going through, let them go through it. We doing something else. But these masks, the isolation, not communicating, no spirituality, you know, you know, when you don't if you don't have these things incorporated in your life today, you're gonna fall off. You gotta get connected to your ancestors. Sometimes I sit and I meditate and I just talk to my ancestors. I talk to my grandmother. I ask her to help me. You know, this is another thing that we've gotten away from. We've gotten away from communicating with our ancestors. That's who we really talk to when we need help in the spirit world. But if you don't know your heritage and who you are, you'll be sitting around waiting for Jesus forever. You have to create your situation. You got to create your situation. Don't be sitting around waiting for nobody. Because your ass will be, you're going to be, yeah, okay. You're going to be pissed because ain't nothing going to happen unless you do it. Gods and goddesses, you do it. Man. So, what else? I was doing some more reading. I ran into this book that my cousin put me on to. It's called it's called it's called Ramses. It's called Ramses the Third, Father of Ancient America. Ramses the Third, the father of ancient America? What? So I'm going, what? So, you know me, I started looking and reading and that was like something interesting. So wait a minute, let me read this real quick. Let me find something else. So I'm gonna get back to that. So then I ran into another book. So I read heavy books, man. I like books like this. So it says The Egyptian Origins of King David and the Temple of Solomon. So I start thinking like, man, that's serious. Cause I'm a firm believer, man. Like, okay, supposedly Jews had an issue with the Egyptians, with the ancient Egyptians, right? This is the narrative, right? Man, but I don't really believe it. I don't really believe it because I don't have no beef with no other sect except for the only sect I really got a problem with is the hijack Ashkenazi Jews, right? Because we know that we are also Israel too. We're Hebrews also. Moors, Hebrew, you can't even find a Jew is not really a word. I'm gonna say Israelites. The Israelites, Moors, the ancient Egyptians, out of the Egyptian Empire, which is in the Americas. So I just don't believe the narrative, man. I don't believe that it was an actual beef because these gods, these Egyptian gods and goddesses, man, they were high frequency spiritual people, man. They wasn't into trying to hurt somebody unless they was doing something wrong. Then you might get some kickback But other than that, they not just gonna go after no chosen people for nothing. Now, if it wasn't because they weren't following the 42 laws of Ma, or what you guys call the Ten Commandments or whatever, but they wasn't living, they wasn't following the high vibrational divine cosmic laws, then maybe, right? Let's read something about the origin, like what's going on in this book. So it says about the book. It says an investigation into the real historical figure of King David and the real location of the Temple of Solomon. So I found it in South America, right? So it says identifies King David as Pharaoh. Did you know King David was a Pharaoh? King David as Pharaoh, Tutmosis III of the 18th dynasty, and David's son Solomon, excuse me, and David's son Solomon as Pharaoh Imhotep, Tutmosis' successor. So, the narrative says that there's like a real serious beef. But did you know that Moses was also an Egyptian pharaoh? He got his teachings. His teachings comes from Mayat. Yeah, the 42 negative confessions. That's Egyptian. That's ancient Egyptian. I don't really believe there was a beef. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. When we vibrate at a certain level, when we on our high frequency, you know what I mean, and we on our do rights, man, we not trying to hurt our own people, Doug. We not doing that, yo. You know what I mean? We not doing that, Doug. I got too much love in my heart for my people, Doug. I got way too much love in my heart, yo. All I want to do is see us have big lands, big do rights, big water wells, creating our own electricity, and just and staying close to family, and for a chance just enjoying life, not even worrying about, well, is this white police officer gonna pull me over and blow my brains out just cause he mad cause I smell good? Or do I gotta worry about, is this boss gonna fire me today after I just had a new child? I got a 2-month old, and I gotta worry about if this cracker is gonna fire me at work because of nothing, because I'm strong and I'm smart, and you're afraid I'm gonna outshine you. All I wanna do, my bad man, I start getting a little emotional, but all I wanna do is see us grow. Because you take our minds, you take these high frequency, divine, spiritual people, man, do you know what we can do? It's our history shows it. The pyramids show it. The mounds Show it. We know what we're capable of doing. Alright, so let me get back. All praises, man. All praise to the Most High God, man. All praise, all praise. So it shows how the Temple of Solomon, described in the Bible, corresponds with the mortuary temple of Luxor in Egypt. Explains how David was not a descendant of Isaac, but his father, and how biblical narrators changed the original story of Abraham and Isaac to hide his Egyptian identity. When I tell you, man, you gotta watch these books, man. They be trying to create beef. When I first got on to my spiritual awakening and started like really searching it out, man, I was running into every time I turned around, I was fighting with somebody, beefing with somebody. I'm like, what? This is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be connecting on a high spiritual level so we can grow, not beefing. I'm not that guy. I've had enough beef in my hometown. I, I've been beefing for the past 3 decades of my life. Gang shit, prison shit, neighborhood shit, white boys on the job shit, government fucking me over shit. You think I still want to beef about some dumbass shit? Plus, I'm not that guy to play with anyway, dog. I don't play with these guys on these channels, the debates and all that shit. I don't do that shit because I know me. I know my attitude. I know I'm that guy. I am that guy that will catch a flight. I am that guy that will be at your front door in 2 hours. So I don't play with people like that. I don't debate. I teach. I ain't with the shade. I'm not gonna go on your platform and you wanna talk your shit. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that guy to talk shit to. And we really wanna help each other. If you really wanna show me something I don't know, or you need me to show you something that I know, we can do that shit offline. Or we could do it online, but it has to be, we gotta act like men. Because at the end of the day, I'm what you call a man. I am what you really call a man. So I don't play these debate games. That's why I don't do the shit. Because I know me. And I know my soldiers. They not gonna have neither. Somebody jumping out there. So I don't do that shit. Shit was crazy as shit. Now, I'm gonna tell you something else I don't do too. Let me address this shit. I saw something, man. I've been seeing something that has been tripping me out. Alright. Hold on, man. You know I can't record nothing without somebody knocking on the door. Give me 1 second, fam. Alright, so I'm back. Man, I gotta address something real quick, man. Cause it's weird shit to me, yo. I don't understand it. Maybe because I'm old school, I don't really understand it. But I'ma say it because I haven't seen nobody address this shit. So I'ma address it. And if you take it how you take it how you I don't even give a shit. Because you probably need a man to say this shit to you. But uh today I saw somebody doing a live, right? I was gonna put his name out there. I ain't gonna put his name out there. I'm not gonna put his name out there, man. If he say something, I'll put his name out there. But I ain't gonna put his name out there. Man, I saw a video today. There's a live recording, and the dude pulled up somebody else's background and started showing this guy's background on his live channel, and then got to talking shit like it was slick. Bro, where I'm from, that's called snitching. That shit that police do that. Police officers do background checks on people. I would never look up someone's background. That's their business. First, that's their business. Secondly, just because it's on the criminal docket doesn't mean that it's substantial. Sometimes people get charged with shit that they don't do. I'm one of them. I probably got 20 charges on my background. I've probably been convicted of 4 of them. Like, really, like, the rest of them are just shit. Police officers been on their racist shit, and I mean, this bullshit. Like, growing up where I grew up at, in the hood I grew up in, the knockers jumped out on us all the time. We fought, fights, guns, all drug. I mean, yeah, but half of the time it was some shit getting planted on me by the cause this one task force around my neighborhood, all 6 of the officers are incarcerated right now with like 15, 20 or more years behind lying and putting bogus charges on people. I'm just saying, bro, like, real niggas, man, real niggas don't do background checks on people, duh, and then post them on the internet. Bro, yeah, that's another reason why I don't play with you clowns, yo. That's why I don't be getting on niggas' lives and all that shit, dog. Cause I, listen, man, listen. You already know how this. I'm not gonna go into that. But all I'm saying is, pretty much, that is pretty much a form of being a rat. That must be some young. It must be some like 35 and under type of shit. Cause like the rules change, man. Gang rules have changed. People snitching on each other, and it's cool. And a lot of things are new to this new stuff to me, man. That's why I'm kind of new to this YouTube stuff, because I seen too much non stand up man type shit. Like certain things men don't do, yo. I'm not gonna. I'm too busy worrying about me. I'm too busy worrying about me, my family, helping out the youth, buying land, agriculture, history, science, mathematics, uh, uh, studying the cosmos, trying to get my cosmic memory back. You know, I'm too busy worrying about these things, my kids, my wife, my parents. Bro, I ain't got time to be doing a background check because of a YouTube nigga. And then I'm gonna take more time to post it and comment about it. I would never do no faggy shit like that's bitch faggy shit to me. You'll never have to worry about me doing no shit like that to nobody. Real niggas do real things. I apologize. Sometimes I have to go back to the old me just because I'm spiritual and I'm avoiding, potential beefs because I'm growing up. But I can pull the old me out of the bag real quick. So don't get it fucked up. But I just wanted to make that comment, man. I think you niggas need to stop doing background checks on people and posting them on social media, yo. That's shit that police do, yo. It ain't nothing stand up and slick about that shit, dog. Shit crazy, man. We heard how but we supposed to be trying to grow. We supposed to be trying to uplift. We supposed to be trying to ascend. We supposed to be trying to grow. We're not supposed to be doing the shit that white people do to us. That's the shit that white people do to us, y'all. White people do background checks on you, assassinate your character and all that goofy shit. That's some shit dope fiends do. That was like a dope fiend move. Like, dude, this nigga got this nigga a dope fiend for real? So that shit tripped me out. I couldn't get on. I'm just saying, I won't never do no shit like that. Me, yo. Cause you never know. Just cause it's a charge don't mean it's legit. You know how many of us have been falsely accused, hung, you know what I mean? You know how many dudes have been dragged out of prison cells, beat up, dragged out of prisons, and hung on trees behind a lie, behind some shit that somebody made up. And here we go 70, 80 years later, and you niggas think it's cool to do that shit to each other? That's why the OGs like me make real videos, because you young niggas don't know no better, man. You niggas is losing all of your scruples. There's no more code. Niggas just do anything now for views and subscribers and shit. So if you don't like what I'm saying, man, just get off my channel. Go somewhere else, yo. Cause I don't deal with shit like that, man. That's bitch, faggy, sucker shit. And nigga like me, I'll put your dumb ass in the grave for some shit like that. Let me chill, man. My bad, man. I just don't like this shit. I hate to see us oppress each other, man. I hate that, yo. Yeah, Dane is a fat fuck and all this shit and all that. Whatever, yo. Dane ain't never did shit to me, yo. I don't even care, yo. All I know is he trying to. He not selling dope. How about that? Exactly. He ain't out here shooting and killing the youth. He ain't out here feeding the youth fentanyl and shit. So the little word and shit, that don't mean nothing, man. But you don't assassinate nobody's character, yo, by doing a background check on them and then posting their charges on the fucking internet, yo. That's some shit that police. Nigga, is you a police, yo? If the shoe fit, wears it. You know who I'm talking to. Because you do this shit a lot, Doug, and you think it's cute. Nigga put a bag on your head for some shit like that. Yo, that shit crazy. So let me go ahead, man. So look, so it says, okay, explains how David. Oh, I read this already. Okay, so it's during the last 2 centuries, thousands of ancient documents from different sites in the Middle East have been uncovered. However, when they say Middle East, I think they talking about the East Coast of America. So, so it says, however, no archaeological discovery speaks of King David or Solomon, his son and successor, directly or indirectly. Was King David a real person or a legend like King Arthur? Proposing that David was a genuine historical figure. Ahmed Osman, that's the brother that wrote the book, explores how his identity may be radically different than what is described in religious texts. See? I tell you, man, sometimes these religious texts, they create beef. Really don't even be no beef, but they make us think it's beef, and then we start acting this shit out, and then we start beefing with each other about some stupid shit, yo. When we need to be coming together, see, that's what they don't want. They know that if we come together, we will be so powerful that no one will be able to stop us. It'll be our world all over again. But you draft up these religious, you know, beasts, and then people start acting them out like they're true, and here we'll never grow, we'll never have shit. So here you got an Arthur right here saying what I've been thinking. All praises to the Most High, man. Most benevolent. This is how I think. Downloads, man. And I download about a lot of shit. It's just that I don't tell everything. And I don't care what nobody think, man. I don't care, yo. This how I feel. This my life. I got 5 decades living. You think I didn't learn something? Yeah, okay. So, drawing on recent archaeological, historical, and biblical evidence from Egypt, Osman shows that David lived in Thebes, Egypt, rather than Jerusalem. That he lived 5 centuries earlier than previously thought. See, because we know that the biblical accounts of this patriarchal system, it's a duplication of a earlier situation that happened in Egypt. Just a they retold the story a couple hundred years later. This whole situation happened no, 2,000 years earlier. That whole situation happened, but it happened with different people. I'm not going to spoil it because I do want you guys to do some kind of research on your own. Like I said, you have to search out your own stuff. That's how you will get a full understanding of who you are. So, where we at? So I'm gonna start out. Let me read this again. This is fire. So, drawing on recent Archaeological, historical, and biblical evidence from Egypt. Osman shows that David lived in Thebes, Egypt, rather than Jerusalem. That he lived 5 centuries earlier than previously thought, during the 15th rather than the 10th century BC. That David was not a descendant of Isaac, but was in fact Isaac's father. Man, I haven't read this book yet, so I'm just giving a perspective. I don't know just yet. So it says the author also reveals David's true Egyptian identity, Pharaoh Thutmose III of the 18th dynasty. Man, confirming evidence from rabbinic literature that indicates Isaac was not Abraham's son. Despite the version provided in Genesis, Osman demonstrates how biblical narrators displace David with Abraham, the Hebrew, to hide the Egyptian identity. To do what? All praises to the Most High for the downloads. My chakras are lining up. I feel them because I'm starting to get certain downloads from my cosmic memory. I've been thinking this. I've been thinking this. For a couple weeks now, I've been thinking this. To hide the Egyptian identity. They don't want you to know how they don't want you to know how strong you are, so-called Negro, or to hide the Egyptian identity of figures that match David's and Solomon's known characteristics in many ways, including accounts of a great empire between the Euphrates and Nile, I say Mississippi River, right, that corresponds with David's empire as described in the Bible. Extending his research further, the author shows that King Solomon, King David's son, corresponds in reality to Pharaoh Imhotep, successor of Thutmose III, the pharaoh who stands out in the dynastic history of Egypt. Now, when I talk Egypt, youngins, America is also Egypt, the empire, like Kalalus, the empire, the true old world. Not only for his peaceful reign, but also as the builder of the temple of Luxor and the famed mortuary temple of Luxor, which matches the biblical description of Solomon's temple. Unveiling the real history behind the biblical story of King David, Osman reveals that the great ancestor of the Israelites was in fact Egyptian. Man. The games they play with us, man. So this is the book, The Egyptian Origins of King David and the Temple of Solomon. Heavy. I gotta get that book, man. So what else did I want to show you guys? Or stuff I didn't want you guys to, like I said, this for the youth, man. This for the kids, man. You know, we've been through a lot, man, in history, man. See, a lot of kids don't remember this stuff. I talk to kids about stuff like this, and they don't care, man. They don't know about how we've been treated in America, dog. How these Caucasoids have strung us up on trees. And then look, they all stand down here and smile for the picture. Mm. Look at this brother here. Hold up. So they ain't showed us. Wait a minute. Let me see something. Look at this. Look at this. Lynchings. But y'all worrying about Gucci. Y'all worrying about tennis shoes. Y'all worrying about doing a background check on another brother and posting his shit on YouTube when they doing shit like this to us. Look at this. Brother hanging, man. Brother hanging, man. Look. Look at them. They all just standing around. I could I can't take this stuff, yo. And I see this stuff. This could have been a aunt. This could have been oh man. Alright. Let me get myself together, man. So we can't forget this stuff, man. Can't forget this stuff, man. I'm not gonna go into it right now, man. Because I'm just not in the mood right now. So we've been through a lot, man. You know, I'm gonna show y'all this other heavy book I've been skimming through. Oh man. Mm. I can't watch them lynchings, man. I can't watch them, bro. They do something to me, yo. So here's a new book I'm checking out. It's called The Great Cosmic Mother. So it says one of the most important books I've ever read. Miss Alice Walker says this. So it says The Great Cosmic Mother, Rediscovering the Religion of the Earth. I skimmed through it. I haven't read it yet, but I skimmed through it. And I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's read a little bit of it. It says, The Great cosmic mother, rediscovering the religion of the earth. This ain't no bullshit. You see that? It says God giving birth. That's heavy. So it says, epigraph. Tell them as I dying live, so they dying will live again. The moon speaking through a tortoise to the African bushman. As the moon dieth and cometh to life again, so we also having to die have live again. Californian Indian prayer. Ooh. So, who were these Californian Indians? Let's pull this up real quick. Show y'all a picture real quick. So they say, okay, here's your Calafia, Queen Khalifa, right here, right here, right here. These are these Californian Indians that the book was just referencing. See this? See this? You see her dreads? So California is named after Queen Khalifa. Here's more pictures of her. Queen Khalifa. Look at this one. I got this picture on one of my shirts that I sell. Indigenous Apparel, LLC. But yeah, man. My bloodline, caliphates. So let me go back to that book. Alright. The California Indian Prayer. We're just gonna skim through a little bit of it and I'm gonna dismount. I just wanted to put some cosmic melanated vibrations through YouTube on this Sunday evening. So let's look at the table of contents real quick. It says woman's early culture beginnings. The first sex in the beginning. We were all created female. Marks. You gotta know about your female energy and your male energy, your masculine and your feminine. You have to understand both so you can learn how to balance them both. You have to have balance with your female and your male energy. Keeping your chakra, your 7 chakras in line also. So, the original black mother, women as culture creators, the first speech, women's early religion. This is just the table of contents. The first mother, the organic religion of early women, female cosmology, the creation of the universe. Oh man, this is going to be a heavy book. Mm. It says the cosmic serpent, the world egg, yin and a yang, the gynandrous great mother, mysteries of the throne, the cave and the labyrinth, the cult of the dead, the mother of wild animals and the dance, right? And okay, so it says woman's culture and religion in Neolithic times, the first settled villages, Southeast Europe, the bird and the snake goddess, the megalith tomb, the moon and the stone, the earth womb as cosmic womb of the pregnant goddess, the islands of Malta and Gozo, 12 circling dancers, earth spirit, serpent spirals, and blind springs. Man, that's heavy. This gonna be a heavy book. Underground caverns and alchemic mysteries. Woo! The goddess of Avebury in Britain. Moontime. The great intellectual triumph of woman's culture. Lunar calendars. Okay, let me go back. So, where we at? Oh, okay, so it says this is the index. So moon mines, moon mother, the cow goddess, and new foods. Pay attention to the food shortage that's going on, family. You know what I mean? Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is peace be upon him. He says try to put 90 days worth of food up if you can until somebody can come, help you. But try to put some food up, family. We ain't talking about tennis shoes. We ain't talking about Gucci belts. We ain't talking about video games. We talking about food. So in the conscious community, we've been talking about put some food up. Next is the water thing. So try to put you some food and some water stored up, stacked away in your basement somewhere. Pack your freezers up the best way you can. I pray that the Great Spirit make sure that you take care of that. So it says mother and daughter and rebirth, the moon tree, the dark of the moon and the moon blood, moon and womb, menstrual rights and taboos, the original woman, witch, rebel, midwife, and healer. Sound like my wife. I'm trying to tell you, my wife has these hands. She works with people that are about to transition. It's like a old folks home. But she's man, the Most High gave her that job because that's what He made her